for joining us. I'm Paul Wilson.
And I'm Chris Ehmke.
And this is Diesel Performance Podcast. Guys, we want to give a quick shout out to our sponsors, WC Fab, Calibrated Power, XDP, and Exergy. If you want to support us, support them. They make the show happen. For today, we got some really exciting stuff going on. We have the UCC champion, Justin Zeigler, on the line. Justin, how the hell are you?
I'm great, man. How about you?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. It is that time of year where the weather needs to break, and it needs to break now.
What's the weather like?
Yeah.
What's the weather like by you, Justin?
Well, it's beautiful today. It's like 58 degrees, sunny,
Man.
and then it'll be snowing tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. We were up there in the 40s,
Yeah,
and then
it was 50 last weekend.
50. Okay.
It was 50 last weekend.
And then we got hit with a rainstorm, which turned to ice last night. So that was really cool. So
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
we're rolling through it.
A mess.
This time of year always gets me anxious, though, because this is when we start doing UCC interviews, and what we find is so many competitors don't have a running truck right now. To start us off at the top here, where are you at with your truck? How together is it? How ready are you if you had to race tomorrow?
If I had to race tomorrow, what I'd have to do is put it in the trailer and go.
See,
my
Paul,
God.
you don't know. The truck was at PRI
yeah.
in one piece in the Exergy booth.
It was in one piece at the Exergy booth.
Yeah.
That doesn't always mean it's ready to race tomorrow.
No, that means it was race ready. That means he's good.
All right.
Oh, hell, I started up in the Exergy booth and drove it out of the convention center and ripped it through downtown Indy.
How was that ride?
It was actually really cool. The cops were stopping traffic and giving me the thumbs up and the whole nine.
Oh, wow. You know what? Hey, I'm going to go there this weekend and do the same thing. If I get pulled over, I'm just going to mention your name and I'm good.
It's the one city in
luck.
the United States that I think you could get away with doing that, where they're just like, some redneck shit's happening, stop traffic, let them through.
Talk to us a little bit, Justin. I mean, you won last year. You had a quality setup, quality truck. What do you change? Like, going into 2023, what's the thought process? What's different from last year?
Well, we were lucky enough to win 2 years in a row with two different trucks, same power plant, but, went back to back. I'll be honest, I'm not even thinking about UCC.
Okay. Well, for starters, you won
What's
2
first
years.
up? Yeah.
You won 2 years in a row, two different trucks. That just means he's that good at driving.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That's it.
I try.
What's up on your list? What's on your radar right now?
We're going to concentrate. I want to win the ODSS Pro Street Championship. That is it's originally what we built this new truck for, and I want to use it. Last year, we did UCC, hurt the motor on drag race day, so we went on to the dyno, and I'm like, well, fuck it, let's send it because we have a sled pull truck here, so.
Right.
If it blows up, it blows up. So we did that crazy horsepower number and brought it home and started seeing all the shit we tore up in the process.
Okay.
So spent the whole freaking summer refreshing everything.
Oh no.
Engine was pretty well. I mean, it ran, but the top rings, there's no tension left in them. 23 of the 24 valves were tool up. I mean, it was just. We did a number on it when we not just backfired it. So Drew refreshed the engine for us, got us all back in race shape. Firepunk helped us out with a new Neil Chance converter. Swapped the spare trans for the S10 into my truck and made it shide. So we were lucky enough. We went to Shide, and we were number one qualifier, and went to the finals, and I got my ass waxed by Austin Denny with his 6-liter.
Man, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, Denny's truck runs really
It
good.
does.
He's a hell of a racer. I just spinning ain't winning, and when you got to pedal it 3 times because you're all over the track, I mean, I use the entire real estate of the property to try to get around him, and we just ran out of room.
Okay. Well, then, having ODSS be kind of, the goal this year, you're doing UCC this year, 2023.
Yeah, are
correct?
I am not.
You are not.
I am bowing out.
Okay.
2 and
there
done.
we go.
Why on earth? I
don't
thought
want the
UCC.
three-peat?
I thought UCC was the pinnacle of diesel performance.
I think it used to be. I don't know. It's changing. It seems that there's not. I mean, not to sound arrogant or anything, but I mean, there's not many trucks that are on our level. I mean, hell, last year the only reason I came back was I wanted to prove that we could beat Derek Rose.
Okay.
Damn, take that, Derek.
Yeah,
Everybody from Ohio can
I love
beat you.
Derek. He's a good dude, but
So
there was him and I did a lot of talking back and forth, and I just wanted to back it up.
okay. So would you say, the personal goal of the ODSS, do you think that is a higher caliber of competition for you to have that under your belt as being points champion versus UCC winner at where you're at in your career now?
I wouldn't say higher. It's just different.
Okay.
Last year I got to use my truck 2 weekends, So I tore everything up at UCC, spent the whole summer refreshing it, and then got to race the last race of the year.
Right.
So I missed the whole race season with something that we built to race.
No, that makes sense.
I think that's a challenge. I think that's something that UCC is starting to put some eyes on and starting to think about in a real way. Where now we've had Levon step out, we've had you step out. I don't know, but I haven't heard anything about Derek Rose coming back.
You saw guys like Baca bow out. He was a heavy competitor for a couple of years. But.
So a lot of these big names of guys who are building huge, crazy horsepower trucks kind of starting to shy away from it. We're starting to see, I think last year we really saw a takeover of racers, which is what traditionally UCC has been, is racers who were willing to go and run on the dyno and willing to drag their truck through the dirt.
Right.
Do you think UCC is going to get replaced? Maybe like sled pullers will start working their way over to UCC then because it's an opening?
I actually had that conversation yesterday with a guy about that very thing, about building a sled pull truck that we could force down the drag strip. I think it could be done. I really do, because, you're going to change setups regardless, whether you bring a drag truck and you set up the sled pull, or you bring a sled pull truck and you set up the drag race. You're going to be changing setups, during that weekend. I haven't seen anybody go the other way yet, though.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a real thought to it. Okay, well, ODSS, walk our listeners through it. What is the class that you're racing in for ODSS, and why give a shit? Why do ODSS?
So we race the Pro Street class, bunch of badass fast trucks in it. Guys that are comparable as far as, track times and whatnot. And that's kind of what's got me, is the competition of racing guys that, that's what they do with their truck. That's all the truck was built for. And I want to try our hand at it.
Okay. What are the class rules? What do you have to be in Pro Street? What's not allowed?
Pro Street, for the most part, the biggest thing is the weight, 4,400 pound weight minimum. Same weight as UCC for the drag strip portion.
Okay.
So, the truck was intended to be built for Pro Street anyways. We kind of got crazy and, did the whole UCC thing with it, and I said we achieved things that nobody had to that point, and I don't know. I don't have the fire right now to go back and do it.
But now, with last year, you proved the concept, right? You backed it up. You had a badass truck. Talking about last year having, Drew over at D&J go through it and the help with Fire Punk, stuff like that. Have you changed anything of the setup this year, or did you just put it back to what it was so you could throw your hat in the ring for ODSS this year?
We changed a few little things, just kind of refined some stuff. When we went out to Scheid, I stopped at Fire Punk on my way out and stole the turbo off the S10 to take out there as a spare, because we didn't really like the way the 107 that we ran as a single on the drag strip with the converters, setup we were running. It was kind of lazy. Okay. So we ended up swapping to the GT55 98 mil off the S10, threw it on my truck, and immediately first pass out went number one qualifier.
Wow. Okay.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah. Now we try to get some chassis stuff dialed in, to make it happy going A to B, and we should have a contender.
Very cool.
I love that. Man, ODSS, that Pro Street is really, I do agree, it's the top tier of diesel drag racing across the country. How How many events are in the ODSS circuit right now?
There's 6 confirmed so far for the year. There's talks about adding 1 or 2 more, but we do have a schedule out showing the 6 so far. So.
And that's usually like Rudy's is like a season opener, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Rudy's will be a season opener at the end of April at Rockingham.
Okay.
And then we'll go to Fire Punk's race at UCC.
So the truck's going to be at UCC this year.
The truck will be at UCC, and don't be surprised if you see my old quad cab there competing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that a teaser? Like, you're not saying any more? Do you have your hands in that? What can you
spill
tell
the
us?
beans, man? What's up?
It's not for me to say, but if I had to bet right now on who wins UCC, that's where I put my money.
Ooh.
So is there a person behind the driver's seat, or just that truck is going to win?
That truck, the team that's behind it, Fire Punk's obviously involved with that as well. It's got a lot of potential to be very badass.
Very cool.
That's
always
exciting to hear, yeah. Okay, Justin, so as you've had 2 first-place finishes with UCC, the repeat champion, you've done your thing in ODSS, your Zeigler performance is also something that's starting to grow, is my understanding. How's business going in the day-to-day around the shop?
Oh, it's good. Pretty much, 35 trucks sitting in the parking lot at any given moment. So we're staying busy and trying to turn out the best work in the industry.
Now, when you have trucks come through the shop, are you doing a lot of big performance builds? Do you have a lot of guys coming in who, hey, I want a Justin truck? Or are you doing like a lot of repairs?
We kind of get both. Where we are in the country, we do a lot of sled pull trucks. So, I get to, play with pulling trucks quite often. We've built some engines and chassis and stuff for some guys that are going to come out this year. And should be a couple good runners. And, our bread and butter is, the daily repairs and maintenance on trucks, as well as, I'm looking out my window in my office right now, and there's 2 6-liters and a 6.4 cabs in the air. So,
okay.
Their natural habitat,
right.
Their natural resting state. Check. All right, man. Wow. Well, it's awesome to stay busy. It's awesome to keep busy. I know keeping up with traveling to 6 races. You got to remember you're in Ohio, so going out to these races, there's nothing that's necessarily like next door. It's all
right.
It's all a full weekend trip and a commitment to be able to go out and do the race. The payouts from doing races, I would say, is probably similar to like investment to return ratios on UCC, where like, sure, it sounds good that win at the end, but man, it's a financial and a time commitment to be able to get into it. Do you
absolutely.
Are you guys seeing growth in ODSS? Are you guys seeing more people flock into the circuit and try to get involved?
I think that we've seen a pretty decent growth in all the ODSS classes. And then I know there's some trucks that are going to be moving up to Pro Street for this year, and some new pro mods coming out. There's ODSS is definitely growing.
Yeah, I know the number of fast trucks that we see there. I feel like we're back into one of those, like I feel like around 14, 15, we had this thing where every single event there was a new record set in one class or another, or one truck or another. Somebody set some sort of new world record around trucks. I'm wondering now, with all of the extra attention you guys are getting, if we're going to start to see that flooding in again. I'm
hoping so.
What's at a 4,400 pound truck? What's the record currently?
Derek Rose actually has the record. It was 473 or 471.
Wow, that's just insane.
So you're shooting for a 469 this year?
That's the goal.
Anything to get D Rose into second place. I love it.
We just need to get him on and bait him.
Yeah.
And then we can play this back, just to get him fired up.
Don't give away our edit notes. Justin, you've had a chance to, like you mentioned, start working with some guys who are newer to the industry or coming in and starting to build sled pull trucks. You got a lot of experience at the very top of the level, and God, I remember meeting you out at Diesel Power Challenge years ago when you were there with somebody else's truck, Travis Richards, I believe.
Yep.
You have good memory, Paul. I'm
Once in a while.
impressed.
It was a really cool truck.
Okay.
I don't want to tell you what it was because you dug it. But anyways, what's the advice you give to guys when they come to you and they got a truck, they got a third gen Cummins because it's Ohio and everybody who sled pulls has a third gen Cummins. And they tell you like, I want to get into this, I want to be the badass in my class. Where do you kind of start that conversation?
I usually start with the conversation on understand how much of a sickness this really can be, and how spun out of control it can really get. So if you want to be the top, any idea of a budget, you just throw it out the window because you're not going to be there if you want to be up top.
I always think of asking, whoever's asking for that advice if they're married and if they have a marriage counselor on speed dial.
Right? Yeah, that's a big help.
We can all relate to that.
The budget,
We really
man.
can.
The budget's a killer too because, like you said, it does tend to go out the window. Not usually on your first time at the shop, right?
No.
That's like you go into the shop, you know exactly what your budget is, you know exactly what you're expecting. You get out into the dirt. I find really people's marriage counselor becomes necessary once shit starts breaking.
Well, there's the whole, you sell the life on, I got to do the built trans and this turbo and this fuel system, right?
Right.
And then, you're 10 pulls in or a couple, passes down the track and that trans fails. And now you have to buy another trans, but I bought this trans and sold my wife on, well, this trans is capable of this.
Right.
Well, it's capable of harnessing the power. It's not going to live forever at that power level. And that's usually that's usually the domino effect.
Yeah, usually you don't see the guy going hog wild the first trip in. It's when he goes out and gets that, that sickness and really sees how, how much fun and enjoyment they got out of it. And that's, guys like me that are just super competitive and will do whatever it takes to be at the top, start going crazy.
So let's play with play the game of what the future holds. Let's say you are points champion, you win ODSS Pro Street. Are you going to throw your hat into a pro mod to follow or what?
I don't know yet. I don't know. I really want to go back to sled pulling.
Oh wow, okay.
What a U-turn. What do you mean? You want to go back to going 30 miles an hour?
That's a lot of fun, Paul.
It is, but it's not 3,000 horsepower, like 4.6 seconds down the track fun.
Jeez.
No, I want to be that 3,000 horsepower going 300 plus. And it's just, I don't know. Any single weekend, I could go anywhere, the next county over and go to sled pull.
You're not limited to 6 races a season, essentially.
Yeah. And have to travel
that's kind of where my
the
thinking
country
is.
to do it.
Right. My thing is I can, throw the wife and the boys in the truck and go hit a sled pull, and I literally need one person to pull me on and off the track, and we're good.
No, I mean, with where we're at in the Midwest, you could literally plan a weekend of sled pulling, and you could get 2 or 3 hooks under your belt.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
No, when I was pulling full time, I mean, we would go and we'd hit 2 pulls in the same day.
Didn't you guys stop and hit a pull on the way to Diesel Power Challenge?
I bet your ass we did.
Driving from Ohio to Colorado to compete for a week, and like on the way they're like, "Oh shit, is that a sled pull? Pull over!" Like,
yep. Oh, I had a truck that we built that was untested, other than launching it in the in the parking lot of the shop, and so we had a truck that we didn't get to test as we ran out of time. So we were on the trailer flying out to Denver, and I started putting messages out there. It's like, hey, we're getting to Missouri. Where's the sled pull? And people started sending me stuff. So we stopped and tested the truck. I needed to get some good data logs on it at full tilt, and we did what we needed to do.
There you go. I like that. That put a grin on our faces here and there.
For real. That's awesome. The dumb shit we would do. I love it. All right, man. Well, listen, this is going to be a wild year, I think, in diesel performance. Yeah. I'm expecting everybody to step up their level of competition. We saw guys crush it last year. Derek Rose made a lot of noise. Tyler Burkhart made a lot of noise.
Yep.
There's several others that were UCC competitors that just had phenomenal years. And ODSS, like you mentioned, is rapidly growing. Any predictions for who else is going to be at the top of the points class with you?
I mean, Dirty Hooker won it last year as far as the ODSS Pro Street. I know he'll be a tough competitor. You know, Austin Denny is always tough. There's a couple other trucks that are in Pro Street that, I mean, it's definitely tight competition at that level.
Yeah. It seems to only get tighter.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we keep stepping up the bar too, right? Because the weight limit holds you to some sort of assumption that, these trucks will only go so fast. But every year, these guys find another way to squeeze out a little bit more power or shave another 10.
But you also keep thinking, like, in years past, it's been a Cummins game, you know, and then Tyler Burkhart last year, right? Max Allison combo. Like, it's one of those, like, what?
Yeah.
Like, that's a real thing? Like, that engine platform, that truck is a contender? Like, it's wild to see.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the Burkharts definitely have a very badass truck. It's very cool. Got to see it, you know, a bunch last year. It's just, I think it's going to be, you know, it'll be definitely a top contender at UCC as well as with Pro Street.
I like where his phrasing is at. You notice he not once has said Tyler Burkhart. He says the Burkharts or Dirty Hooker diesel. He's given Tony his due, and I appreciate that. Don't give all the props to the kid. All right, all right. We get it. All right, man. Well, hey, listen, this has been so much fun. Guys, we're so excited. Make sure you get down to UCC and get out to all the ODSS events so you can kind of see exactly what we're talking about. I don't think you could really understand the thrill of watching these trucks fly down the track until you're there in person, really feeling it. Justin, any final advice you want to give to guys that are out there listening?
Get a good team. That is the make or break of, you know, any UCC competitor is your team that you bring with you. I was lucky enough that I had the best one.
Man, well said. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, Justin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Listeners, we got more Diesel Performance podcasts coming at you in the future weeks. Make sure you got us subscribed. We are coming out on Tuesday mornings now, so we're excited for that. For today, this has been Paul Wilson.
And Chris Ehmke.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us today, guys. This has been Paul Wilson.
And Chris Ehmke.
Make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.
It was actually really cool. The cops were stopping traffic and giving me the thumbs up.